are such an asshole.
We have an interesting question, in part because the question itself is interesting. Another part because I think a lot of guys are going to, he's the age, I'm not going to mention his age, but I think a lot of men, he's probably on the beginning, he's on the vanguard of this group of men. But I forecast men younger than me, there's going to be a generation of them because I already know them. I know several who are wealthy, but I mean, let's just be honest, there's very little that's appetizing in terms of commitment or marriage or all that. But the third reason I think this is interesting is I think the solution is built in with the current dating market and how people date, and gold digging is not, it's still a thing, but you can hide it. You can hide in open, hide in public, shield yourself and hide in the open. I think you can hide in the open on this one. I think that's what I'm trying to say. So let's go through the request here. Hey, Cappy, just curious what you charge for video response regarding the following. I'm a single, child-free by choice with a vasectomy. There's your money saver right there. There's all this jujitsu you could do, like truth jujitsu. You tell them, yeah, I got a vasectomy. You're not going to sperm jack me. I mean, you're not going to say you're not going to sperm jack me. Like, yeah, I had a vasectomy. And then that's going to deter all the girls like, oops, I'm Briggers. I have a net worth about 1.25 million with an additional inheritance expected over time. I'm debt-free, drama-free, and live a minimalist, low-key lifestyle, right? Yeah, you're hiding in the open. You don't got no Ferrari. You're not wearing fancy clothes. You don't like spend all your money on clothes and looks like I do. I've never had any legal trouble of any kind. My home is fully updated, paid off, and I valued at roughly 325,000. Not a fancy, I mean, that's not a mansion, right? You're the millionaire next door. I would read The Millionaire Next Door just to get some context to where you are. It's a good book too, by the way. But yeah, a $325,000 house, no girl is going to pull up to your place like, oh my God, this guy, I totally made it. Did I hit the jackpot? I own 2 modest vehicles outright, each valued at around 13,000 exactly. The remainder of my portfolio is well diversified, primarily invested in the S&P 500 index with roughly 5 years worth of living expenses kept outside the market to protect against that. 5 years. My goodness, man. I work remotely while living in a state I wouldn't, it's not a bad state. Earning about 90,000 a year with great bosses and a very flexible schedule. I'll be a youngish but not oldish age, not too young. I'll be a middle-aged age this month, and I'll likely be retiring in the near future. I have an IQ of around 130, which is probably a big reason I prefer being a homebody. You can't, dude, go get my book, Curse of the High IQ. You may have already read it. They're fucking heathens. I had to go to school, K through college, with all you fucking inferior assholes. Fuck you, normies. Fuck you, conformists. I still got to go out there and deal with the fucking, what is it? Not Philistines, not swine. The masses. What is the unshoveled, unclean mad? And I'm trying not to be arrogant. I'm just like, you guys are all slow. You drive for shit. You can't figure out what you want. Like, nobody moves. No one's got to hustle. It's like trying to walk uphill in a swamp. That's what it's like dealing with you people. Shut up. Go spit out some more kids you can't afford. Which is probably a big reason I prefer to be a homebody. I tend to be very direct, low patience, and somewhat misanthropic by nature. Welcome to the Curse of the High IQ. It's available on Amazon. I'm self-aware enough to know that many people would probably consider me an asshole, and I'm fine with that. I haven't completely given up on women, but I prefer long-term sexual-only arrangements. I'm always upfront at the beginning about my intentions and make it clear that I am not interested in commitment or romantic attachment. I don't lead anyone on. I mostly meet women through the dating apps. Dude, if you're upfront about that, that's great. And then you throw in the vasectomy, like if you were to disclose that, the girls are not looking, oh, here's Mr. Money. Like you're not sending off any signs of wealth. None whatsoever. But you are sending off values of being a high value man. Like, here are my standards. You don't like it, fuck off. Right? And I would say for your age, which I'm not going to mention, home ownership, that's a total flex. Right? No, I own my home. I would even say, well, I would say no. I own my house cash outright. I worked really hard to pay. Like, don't let them know you make a lot of money. No, I worked 2 jobs, slaved away, and didn't spend anything. So now I have my house paid off. That's a flex. That if you were younger, I'd just say owning a home would be a flex, but you need to have significant equity built up at your age. So it's like, yeah, no, I own my home outright. I don't have a mortgage. That right there, I think would be an appropriate amount. But because you're frugal, otherwise, well, he doesn't spend it. I'll say it again. Women don't know the difference between debt and equity spending. Yes, some women do, especially those who are accountants. I know. I'm talking the gold diggers. They don't. I saw it in banking. They didn't care how their husband got the money, just that they got it. And nearly all the finance bros and the real estate bros, all you microscopic dick pussies in Wyoming and Minnesota and other states who are real estate developers, bro. A lot of you are dead now and you all went to bankruptcy. Some went to jail, actually. I know one guy. Their wives didn't care if it was the bank's money they were spending or their actual own money, which never really happened because none of these people ever made a profit. And it was great when you repossessed the house and there's the sheriff and there's the trophy wife. What? But I have titties. I sucked his dick. What do you mean? No, I don't understand. Debt, equity, it's my money. I'm so impressed. So they know, right? Like, oh, this guy is a miser, right? You're giving off miser vibes. You're not going to part with your money, and you being upfront right off the bat, you're already putting up blocks. You're already deterring the gold diggers, right? You're not this. Here's the rules: we're having sex. If you don't like it, get the fuck out. I'm never going to marry you. I'm never going to commit to you. I'm not going to pay for your shit. All right, we're here to have fun. That assertiveness and that boldness they're like, yeah, we can't hoodwink this guy. Right, the thieves, they look for people who aren't paying attention, looking up at the sky because they're tourists or they're older, they're just right. And then but if you walk and you're looking around, no one's tried to rob me. No one. Now, how much of that is when we got trained in security to look around, because we had to walk girls home on campus. At one time, I defended women. I still will to this day. But you're just looking around. You're aware of the people. Like, yeah, that guy's aware. He might fight back. I think gold diggers have another ability like that. If you start laying down laws and show that you're not a doormat or a pushover, they'll move on to an easier target. So the fact you're having that upfront conversation definitely lessens the risk you got to worry about this, while there are obvious displays to the trained eye, to the cunning eye, otherwise that you actually do have money. Part of me does not want women from my past. Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped a hit. I'm not interested in commitment or romantic attachment. I don't lead anyone on. I mostly meet women through dating apps. We'll keep doing that. Part of me does want women from my past to see that I've done well and turned out successful. At the same time, I don't want to make myself a target for gold diggers or expose myself to false allegation risks. So my questions are, how would you recommend someone like me subtly signal success and stability without advertising wealth? Very good needle to thread here, sir. Very good question. And if I do retire soon, would you advise being honest about that on a dating profile? For example, if my age is young man, but not super young man, definitely young for retirement, and my occupation simply says retired, does that alone make me a target? Yeah, that's a bit much. That's a bit much. And I would also say that would probably hurt you in the dating thing, because when you say retired, they're thinking like, well, they're going to go one of two ways. And at your age, they're going to assume that you're just unemployed, right? You're a consultant when you're unemployed, right? I would just put consultant. Whatever your job is, I just have that be, IT consultant, IT advisor, whatever. And you're not in IT. I don't know what you're in. I would not put retired. I'd kind of keep that one up. Does that also make me kinda? If someone believes you and they're savvy, they're like, ooh, he's got enough money to retire that early. Most are going to be like, what do you mean he's retired? Oh my God, he probably just I don't drive expensive cars, wear jewelry, or dress flashily. My clothes are basic and practical. From the outside, you never know I'm financially successful. Should I be comfortable with that? Or is there some smarter middle ground? But you're getting laid, right? You're having success. Whatever you're doing is fine. I'd appreciate your thoughts, and I'm open to advice from others in the comments as well. So then I asked the guys, I said, well, do you have your assets protected, trust, anything like that? Trust a ma, trust a bill, your best friend, and have gals you dated found out you're wealthy. And if you're not marrying them, what do you care if they're gold diggers? Just say no. And then he says, assets, house, blah, 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 blah. Gals in the past only know what I tell them. I'm not flashy with wealth. If they come to my house, it's completely updated but modest in size. It does give off clues. It's not a McMansion. I like the idea of using my success to attract women. Success is different than wealth, though the two are very closely related. But since I'm doing it via apps, I'm unsure how to signal success without making myself a target, not so much a target for gold diggers as a target for false allegation claims. Maybe I'm just overly worried. Yeah, I'd say so a little bit, but it's not. This is, it's like me. I got armor, right? Not only bulletproof vest, but armor. Is that a bit extreme? Yeah, but you might need it. It's not the worst thing to buy. You can always become more risky down the road if you wish to disclose more things. You cannot become less risky in the future. Like once you state it, once it's out there, you can't lessen that risk. If information about you gets out there that people know, like a girl says, oh my God, I slept with 100 guys. It's over, right? So, and now that I think about it, right, you girls, right, ladies, I gotta find a man. Oh, I don't know, the T app and then the Facebook. Are we dating the same guy? Your concerns are not irrational. It might be a little more risk averse than I would take, but it's not this is not a bad thing, right? I take vitamin D supplements. It's not a bad thing. Or maybe I should only date people in my immediate circle who I somewhat know. But then again, I'm not really trying to date, merely just trying to get laid. Yeah, see, now you're shitting in your own yard. Sorry, work at getting in shape. I've never had trouble pulling women for some reason. Plan to be in best shape of my life by my birthday. But yeah, it ain't broke, don't fix it a little bit. But here are my notes that I took that you could further refine your strategy online. All right. Number 1, be hot and lie. Right here, I don't want a threesome with Jesus. The main takeaway from this is to be hot. And if you're hot, chances are your wife will want to fuck you again. Your chances of divorce go to everything. Being hot, it's better than having money. All these problems go away because you don't have to be good. You don't have to be wealthy. Look at the fucking dirtbags women fuck, but they're all good looking. They're all good looking. Drug dealers, corporal bros, they're all good looking, even if they're in jail. So if you're physically attractive, the money does become secondary. And especially with your dating strategy of, I'm not getting married. There's no money on the table for you. We're just here to have fun. That right there really lessens the risk. And then you lie, be hot and lie. And I don't mean you lie to them and give them false information, but they don't need to know. What do you do? Oh, I do IT advisory. Oh, what's that like? Oh, that's pretty good. What do you make? Oh, enough. I don't make that much. I really save my money. I'm very frugal. And your surroundings show that. But, I was brought up poor, so I make sure I can get by as little as possible. Right? Just like that. They don't need to know about your $2 million estate. They do not need to know about that. Number 2, you clearly state up front that you're not giving them money. Now, you don't say it as black and white as that, but I think that's already implied in I'm not getting married. I'm not supporting people. I don't want children. I have vasectomy. You could say I'm a minimalist. Financial planning is very important to me. I do not waste money. I'm more about freedom and having a good time. But I think that's kind of implied that you're not going to give them money because you're not getting married and it's only about sex. So there you go. 3, if you want to be formal about it, and given that you're looking at millions of dollars, I would go talk to an estate lawyer. It has to be in your state. And I'd look into trusts, because if you don't have kids, it goes, what is it? It goes up or out or up, depending on the state. So it either goes to your, like, if you don't have kids, it goes to your spouse, but you don't have a spouse. So it goes out to your siblings or up to your parents, or up to your parents and out to your siblings. You are a candidate. You have a house. You should look into the trust, because otherwise the state gets it. So I would, now is the time to look at estate planning, living will. And then if you have someone you really trust, like that soccer player, trust his mom. You can't trust your mom in the United States because I'm a boomer. I'm a boomer. Kill the children. Abort babies. I'm a boomer. So if you trust someone with your life, you could set up a trust. It could be the situation where you don't own your house, right? And your buddy, it's a trust that owns it, and your buddy manages the trust in your best interest and just doesn't charge you rent. See? And then when it passes on, when you pass away, the trust then is bequeathed to your buddy or whoever you really like, or maybe a podcaster influencer who has a southern, like, if for all you bachelors that don't have kids, you want, like, oh, if I die, where's it going to go? Cappy, right? I'll take your estate. I'll take your money. You're going to be dead. You won't need it. Actually, you got a nice used truck. I could use a good used truck. But more seriously, you are in the market for this now. I would start looking at your estate planning, because you have a significant estate. That's aside from the dating. But at the same time, you could protect things. And then you could just be like, then you could say, oh, no, I got to trust. What's that? What do you mean you got to trust? I'm like, I don't own anything. By the way, you can also lie about this too. There's different types of trust. What you would be looking for is an asset protection trust, which you actually do not own. But in that case, you could tell the truth. But you don't have to have a trust. I said, oh, your house is paid off? Yeah. Oh my God, what's that like? Oh, it's pretty good. And what do you do? It's like, oh, I got a trust. Well, what's that? It means I don't own anything and nobody can sue me. Right? You just like, I don't own a penny I don't own a thing. Well, yeah, okay. I own that couch over there in my video game collection, but otherwise I don't own the house. It's in a trust. Oh, well, why? Well, that way, if anyone sues me, they get nothing. There's really nothing to take. Like, that's okay to drop. True or not. That's okay to drop. Like, yeah, I did pretty well for myself, but I put everything in a trust. So technically I own nothing. And then she'll be like, gold digger's going to go away, man. 4. I think, especially today, I think you're in the sweet spot, especially for your demographic, where you just need to be financially stable. You don't have to be wealthy. We're heavily critical, but constructively so, of women here. But we also have to be somewhat equally critical of men, younger men, and by younger I mean younger than me. You guys are not exactly the greatest winners on the face of the planet. The women's lamentations of their men is pretty true, but you girls are complaining about the Democrat soy boys that you created. So here's the soy boys you ordered, madam. I think women are just happy if you're not autistic, you got a job, and you're financially stable, right? The fact you own a home is a flex for your generation, or plus or minus 2-3 years, certainly younger than you. You don't have to be baby boomer, boat owner, yacht owner, Ferrari owner, Miami Vice type. You don't have to be a Gen Xer, like secretly stashing your wealth or anything like that. I think just having your shit together, being assertive like you are up front, and then also being in shape, especially at your age, unless you're dating particularly young, they're going to appreciate that. I think they're aware that, they'll never say it, but damn, Ward Cleaver looks pretty good now, huh, ladies, right? Remember how you all, it's oppression and let's go kill Ward Cleaver. Oh, what a horrible person. Hugh Beaumont's already dead. He was the actor. Deep down inside, like, God, I wish I did have Ward Cleaver. And you're not weird and you're taking them out, like you take them for just even going on it. Like I'm not joking. You pick them up in a car and you take them to dinner. That's amazing now. You girls had that back in the 90s. You had that. Now is like coffee, Netflix and chill. I think you just being a self-supporting real man, I don't think you need to flash the wealth. You need to flash your stability. That right there, I think, is enough. So you show being stable, but not necessarily wealthy. 5, you could say, no, I wholeheartedly, you could say this was a straight face because I say with a straight face, I am all for feminism. I am all for women being strong and independent. I would not insult you by subsidizing your rent or anything like that. Like, nope, I believe in independent women. Women should support themselves. Women should have their own homes and they should have their own lives, which is perfectly in line with, you don't have to say that on the first date. But if it comes up, no, I believe in feminine. I think women should be their own autonomous, sentient people. You should be independent, should have your own lives and your own finances. And, we voluntarily hang out with one another. And they have to say yes. They have to agree with it because they've been lipping off about it for the past half a century. And then there you go. Like, no, you're paying for your own. You have your own house. No, I'll take you out. Sure, we'll have some fun. But we're not getting married. We're not combining ass. What? So there's that. If you're really worried about it, this is more going Pirates of the Caribbean route. You can cache precious metals, like go hide it. If, whether you're showing it online and, oh my God, they're going to come up with a false accusation. But then you'd be facing criminal time or jail time. That wouldn't necessarily be the money. If you're really worried about it, yes, asset protection again, or, go find some place out in the forest or the swamp and go bury it. You can do that too. For all you guys in the same situation that this guy is in, though he already has it, I would go get a vasectomy if you don't want kids. Like, if you don't want kids, go get a vasectomy. Now watch all the spurgs. The sperm retention, and then you grow a third dick. Thank you, autists. Thank you. Auteurs, just go over there and fuck off. Go into the corner of fuck off. Yes, that corner with Wyoming and Colorado and Utah. Go to that corner and fuck off. I would, and that you can't lie about. So I would go consider having a vasectomy. And if you have one, let them know. Because that cuts one main avenue that gold diggers going like, oops, I'm preggers. I want to keep the baby. So that you don't have to worry about. One of the best $1,200 I ever spent. And then you're concerned like, okay, I want to flaunt it and get revenge. I am with you, sir. I will not claim to be so mature that I would not like to see me get quote unquote revenge on people of my past, male or female, that wronged me. A good reason I put the finger up there is that's more of I told you so, which I guess is a form of revenge. It's not like, look at how amazing my life is, though there is that too. But all those finger pictures, like, yeah, go fuck yourself. I'm right and you were wrong. How is it living paycheck to paycheck and your property taxes going up so you could send your kids to schools where you get the shit kicked out of them by diversity and inclusion that you voted for? Huh? How is it? Oh, you can't afford gas. Oh, it's just too bad. So I understand. It is not beneath me to get a little bit of, and I think the way you do that, because you have two concerns. Your concern is that the gold diggers are going to find you online. Look at this display of wealth. There really is hiding in the open because everybody is lying online. I think Rich Cooper is right. You should have a picture of you in a suit or a tuxedo, like a nice formal picture, a picture of you being jacked, a picture of you being adventurous, and a cute picture of you with a dog or a nephew or a niece or something like that, right? I think that's 100% correct, but that's everybody. I don't know if you see these like totally emaciated drug addict boys posing next to the Hellcats with their pants drooped down below their legs and posing like this, right? Everybody's lying on the internet. No woman uses a picture she took last week. It's always 10 years ago when she used to be fuckable. Now she's this fat, unfuckable pig, right? Guys do the same. You're always doing your Photoshop and all this other crap. Everybody knows that you're lying. So, one, you don't have a Ferrari to pose next to. You have a modest car. But I don't think you got to worry about, and what display of wealth are you going to pose next to? There's nothing you don't have a Ferrari. You don't have a yacht. Your house is modest. So I don't know what you'd say there or pose there, but I think you have certainly put on a tuxedo, pose at a fancy nightclub or something fancy, whatever. You're posing on a boat or the patio of a fancy Italian hotel. You got to get one of those. No one's going to assume you're wealthy because everybody's lying online. But what I think, kind of as we were saying before, I would say, to thread that needle, you want to display that you have freedom and that you have taste. You do not want to display that you have wealth. So, and you can display financial stability. Almost tongue in cheek with whatever post, like, I wouldn't post a picture of your car and then people know what you drive. But, and I don't know how, like, oh, I got a really good deal on this coupon. Like, post a picture of a coupon. Look, 20% off. I'm going to save money on pizza today or something like that. I don't know what. But I would display freedom more than anything else. Right? You posing on a beach or, today's office, right? And you're working on a laptop because you work remote. Digital nomad, put that in your profile. Digital nomad since X, finding the greatest coffee shops to work from since 2019 or whatever it's been since you've been remote work. A little bit of travel, right? If you, I don't know, you go to St. Louis, get a picture of the arch, whatever, show that you get to travel and it's not the travel itself, it's the freedom that you have to travel. And then taste. And I don't know, taste, like I got my fossil collection, but whatever your hobbies are, take a really good picture of it. Maybe you get yourself a fancy tie. Show some display of taste and refinement. And that really is up to your hobbies, right? If you like the opera, well, you can look refined then. Comic books, right? Okay, girls really aren't into comic books, but they're going to know that if you've set up a nice display of your comic books, like, oh, look, he's got taste. I got a buddy, he'll take a picture of the booze he's drinking and the record he's listening to, and he'll display it next to his fancy record player. That displays taste. And I'm not saying display your hobbies, show you have good taste, that you're an expert within your hobby. If you work on your own car, pop the hood on the car and say, yep, today we're going to work on this. Art. Whatever it is that you enjoy doing, display that. But I would display freedom and most, but you can't display wealth. What are you going to do? Take a picture of your bank balance or a pile of money you don't have because you're not an idiot. You don't waste it. And they don't need to see it. So I think you can display, and at the back of their minds, the girl's going to be like, wow, this guy can do whatever he wants, which is what rich people do. Unless, of course, you borrowed a ton of money like rich people do, and then you still file for bankruptcy. So I think you having the freedom, like, no, we're not getting married. I think it actually gives those girls a bit of a liberation. Like, oh, cool. He's not going to stalk me or ask me to marry him or want to be boyfriend, girlfriend, to be exclusive. And then I can still get large dick over here with my other guy. Right. I think that's what's playing in your advantage. So if you show freedom You show fun. Yeah, I don't know. You go swimming with the dolphin. I'm with the dolphin. Yeah, I think that'd be good, and you don't have to display wealth. And so you still get to brag, right? Hey, look at all, oh yeah, and what do? Oh, I wait till it's Tuesday or Monday to post pictures, right? I wait. I actually have on my phone, I have weather alarms. So when it gets cold in South Dakota, I know when to send my pictures to my friends up in South Dakota, like, hey, what's going on, dickheads? There's a picture of me. It's sunny out. It's minus 15 in Rapid City. Hey, what's going on? Hey, fuck you. Those are my friends. You want to, yeah. Every guy leases a car. Every guy is poor. Every guy with a Mercedes is po. Po. You display you working on at a nice cafe in an Italian village on a Tuesday. That's a great line. Today's office. It's a great line. That display will show women you're better than the average guy. It won't show that you got wealth. It'll show you got freedom, therefore implying wealth unconsciously. And then dude, you're at the age that the women, they're post-wall. I'll tell you that much. They're post-wall. And the party is over. And now they're starting to realize it. They're really starting to realize it. And this is where they come out, hey, stranger. All you got to do is post your life. And the fact you don't have kids, you got all this freedom. Like, hey, what's going on? Look at me doing hey, today I took tango lessons, right? Show them your hobbies. Today I did this. Today I did that. Must be nice. It is. You conformist, low IQ, obedient little sheep fuck. It is. Why don't you go bah in the field some more? Bah. So and we've said it before on the how to get revenge on your ex-girlfriend video, you shouldn't seek it. The best revenge is living a better life than they ever could. That's the best revenge. Just go into it. So I wouldn't display wealth, display fun, display passion, display hobbies, display freedom. And I think that will attract women and coincidentally get whatever retributive justice you wish upon the girls that spurned you in your past. Let's go to the super chats. Ass Bucket, $2. Ultimate Flex is the Amex Sapphire Titanium card. Is that such a thing? I know there's a Sapphire card, right? Sapphire Titanium card. Drew, $2. No one knows my finances. It will stay that way. Correct. Drew, $2. Freedom is the best flex. I think it is. Because, look, being wealthy is nothing wrong with it. I prefer to be wealthy than poor. But one great thing about being poor for at least half of my adulthood is you start to find out, like, who the fuck wants bottle service? First class is nice. I won't lie. I was upgraded one time. First class is very nice. I like that. But the Ferraris and the boats and all the other shit. Oh, I'd go to like, come on out to the golf course. Okay, we're golfing. Yeah. Okay. We need work to do here, guys. The longevity, the novelty all wears off. And then it's like, I'd like to be able to wake up this morning. I've slept until almost 9 a.m. and had a coffee. Didn't get out of bed until 9:30. That's richer than any one of you. You think Elon Musk is richer than me? You think Jeff Bezos is richer than me? Bill Gates is retired. You think he's richer than me? He's got to work. He's got to deal with the Epstein files. They got to deal with board meeting. No, fuck no. Fuck no. All right, that's it. Link below, I think, Bachelor Economics. I think that I got that link below. And then get this book. I don't want a threesome with you. Yes, it's written for Christians. Or Christians who want to have sex, which is like the men and like 2 or 3 of the women. Because you girls just want the sexless marriage, right? That's it. That's every Christian girl's dream come true is the sexless marriage. They're like, oh my God, I get shit paid for and I don't have to have sex. Yes, and that's why so many girls go to Christianity. I'm sort of only joking. Get that. I don't want a threesome with Jesus. Oh, and Drew, $2. I'd rather be rich and no one knows. Yep. All right. See you guys later. Toodles.